And also, to back up how you started the show today, which was your warning about it looks like they're really going to potentially pull the plug here in the upcoming months.
So we're already in a depression, but I mean total collapse.
Potentially total collapse. And Obama at the G20 summit, I heard this quote a couple times on mainstream news, he's warning of that he's going to present very difficult choices to the country next year. So if the guy's got that little...
And before we play it, that's what I was saying earlier. They think we're domesticated. They've done the math and know that 90% of people, aren't self-sufficient and are dependent one way or the other on the government, even if they don't work for the government. And so they've decided to bankrupt everything to say, now here's your choice, fully submit to us, and we know what that means. So tell us about this clip we're about to see.
Well, it's a G20 clip when Obama was there, and remember, he was encouraging other nations. He was encouraging other nations to keep up the stimulus, right?
That means get more in debt to the bankers. But then he went further. He also said in the clip that no nation can be above any other. But that means lowering everyone with the bankers above us. So let's go ahead and play that clip.
There we go.
One of the interesting things that's happened over the last 18 months as president is, for some reason, people keep on being surprised when I do what I said I was going to do. So I say I'm going to reform our healthcare system, and people think, well, gosh, that's not smart politics. Maybe we should hold off. Or I say we're going to move forward on don't ask, don't tell. And somehow people say, well, why are you doing that? I'm not sure that's good politics. I'm doing it because I said I was going to do it, and I think it's the right thing to do. And people should learn that lesson about me, because next year when I start presenting some very difficult choices to the country, I hope some of these folks who are hollering about deficits and debt step up, because I'm calling their bluff. And we'll see how much of that, how much of the political arguments they're making right now are real, and how much of it was just politics. All right? Thank you very much, everybody.
Boy, your take on that.
Oh, the headline on that on YouTube was Obama cryptically presents very difficult choices to the country next year.
Well, that's before, when he first got elected, that's what Biden said. He said he's going to do some things that are going to make people hate us. And what they do is all the taxes are going to go to debt. They're going to get rid of the police, the welfare. They're going to slash it all. They're going to take pensions. And that's going to be the tough choice. And we see Republicans in the Washington Times saying, yes, we need to raise the retirement age to 70. And we need to start taking part of people's pension funds. So the bankers are going to get everything. They're going to have record profits like they've had the last 2 years. We're going to have nothing.
Well, and we got to remember, he was addressing the G20 audience, people that they're basically in the know what's going on. So what I think he's anticipating is, I think he's anticipating that in this general election in November, we're going to see a lot of incumbents get tossed out. Probably for almost certain that we're going to get a Republican majority in the House, maybe in the Senate as well. 11 senators are gone already from attrition. Either they've died or retired or whatever. You got 40 U.S. House members that are gone already because they have stepped out of the fire here. So we've got a chance of seeing 20–30% new faces potentially in these upcoming.
And most of these faces we know are bona fide patriots, and so the globalists are going to have trouble getting them under control. And it's exponential. Either way you slice it. I mean, did you hear me read from the Financial Times of London, top Clinton official, only a terror attack can save Obama? I mean, this story alone, 5 years ago, we talked about this for a month straight. These things are coming out on an hourly basis.
Right. It's crazy how fast things are happening and how fast things are coming out. Is that quote that you say all the time, that sometimes things happen in a year that happen in 100 years, that rapidly. But I think they're anticipating this big change in the House and Senate, and so Obama is going to set the new freshmen up for a fall. They're going to come in and want to see fiscal responsibility implemented, even though, as your caller stated earlier in the last few days, that the New World Order has Aladdin's lamp when it comes to creating money. Well, there's going to be a desire for fiscal responsibility by the new freshman coming in, and so he may let that happen to a more hideous degree than even they want. And then he's got somebody to point the finger.
Well, notice all the leftist-controlled areas have got, record amounts of money. But what did you think about Oakland saying we're going to restrict guns more, so you can't have those, protect yourself, but we're going to, this is the police chief, this is what he released. You're allowed to administer poison to someone. We will not respond if someone's poisoned. Extortion, burglary, theft, embezzlement, grand theft. I mean, it just goes on and on. Sabotaging power lines. I mean, this is insane. And we'll put that list on screen if you scroll down on that NBC article. This is his list. And that's a green light to the criminals to just go haywire.
Right, right. And so that's what could happen is when we get this Mad Max scenario that you referred to earlier in the show, then that's going to put all of us in danger that are trying to, you know, maintain our house payment and drive our cars and go to work, etc. So it could be very...
And they're going to offer the new SDR and say, we'll jack the dollar up for you for a while, because under this SDR, the globalists will fully run the dollar offshore now. It'll still be there. It's just they control it. And then now you'll have this SDR, digital currency above that, and that's going to be their answer. Global government will fix this. And if we capitulate and roll over, they'll turn the economy back on for a few years.
Well, and but you know, we're going to have to go through this. That's what we've got to figure out, is how to transition from this funny money Federal Reserve system to a real constitutional money system.
Well, that's what they covered.
That's a very ugly path, unfortunately, potentially, but that's the route we need to go.
Now, I want to get into toll roads, but first, some more of the, and we'll keep you 5 minutes the next hour if we need to. Richard, you have key info on the toll roads, so I wanted to get you here, why I called you. But I want to go back to this. You read the IMF 100, I think it was 112 points. It was 2002 it got leaked. And it's the shock therapy doctrine got released. Joseph Stiglitz left, and it magically got leaked, the Nobel Prize winner. And he's a pretty good guy. We've had him on. And he says they plan to destroy everything and it's total collapse. And in there, you know, the IMF would say go into Argentina. This was the one example there. They just done it 2 years before in 2000. This is 2002 we were going back to. And they said, what we do is we quadruple the price of oil and water. We put toll roads on everything. That further bankrupts it. Then the people riot. Confidence is lost. And then you have to make things a lot worse. It's basically take them 100 miles down the road. We push back 50, but still they've got 50 miles on us. So they know they have to make it super bad so that then we fight back, get a little bit back, and think we won when really our standard of living's been dropped by 20, 30, 40, 50%, which Maurice Strong and the UN and Al Gore say is their goal. The carbon tax is to destroy our industrial society to make us dependent. China, India, and others are exempt. They're the new globalist command base. And so they're going to wreck things so bad, so that artificially, so that then when they turn things back on, it'll be a lot worse than it is now. But we'll think, oh, my God, at least I've got food. At least the power's on. At least the water's flowing. And in the IMF World Bank plans, they say how they do it. I mean, they're doing that here. This is going to happen. And Richard, how do we stop it? I know they're engineering it. I know they're executing it. I have their playbook. I mean, it's not like I just realized now they're really going for everything. They are going to hammer us into nothing. And I just want people to understand this.
Well, one way to stop it, you did the plug earlier, is get those videos in the hands of as many people as possible. But the other things we can do is we've still got elections coming up, primaries. Unfortunately, the Texas primaries already passed. We don't get another shot at firing incumbents till November. But in Oklahoma, we've got Randy Brogdon that has a good chance to get into the governor's primary in the Republican Party. Randy Brogdon, his website, randybrogdon.com. He might be worthy of an interview, I think, because he's a really good guy, and he's polling around 40% in some of these mainstream monkeyed polls. So he's looking really good there, and plus that creates a definite roadblock for the NAFTA corridor, for the Trans-Texas corridor. They got to go through Oklahoma.
Now, there's 83 of these mega highways they want, but the key, and they admit for the whole country to merge into, is the Trans-Texas I-35 mega corridor, all the way into the north of Canada, all the way down to the port on the Pacific side in southern Mexico.
Right. Laredo, Texas is the largest inland port in the United States. Laredo, Texas, largest inland port, so absolutely the Trans-Texas corridor is a cornerstone, keystone piece of the NAFTA corridor.
It's their Death Star. We blow that politically. They're still going to have Star Destroyers, but we've blown their main fleet.
Well, in November, we're going to get a chance to fire every incumbent in Texas that we possibly can. That's our best hope to make changes here politically in Texas up in November. And then up in Oklahoma, we've got Randy Brogdon, like I said. We've got R.J. Harris, another candidate for U.S. Rep. That's got a good chance up there. And then we've got James Lane, Lane for OKSenate.com. James Lane is running for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, there are hundreds of Patriot candidates. People should find them in their areas and break their backs supporting them. Now, let's tell people what the NAFTA highways do, and then a microcosm example, seizing MOPAC, which is admittedly illegal, to put a toll road on an existing road. Every time they try it, we fight back. They retract it. They're back. Let's use MOPAC as a microcosm.
Well, with MOPAC, see, the engineers that originally designed and built that figured that a lot more of that traffic on MOPAC would just be having downtown Austin as their destination. But as you well know, with I-35 being congested so badly so many hours of the day, then MOPAC has become a big through route through Austin now. And what they've done, though, is when they engineered that Lady Bird Lake Bridge, used to be Town Lake Bridge, when they engineered that, there's a lane that drops off on southbound and northbound side. So there's a little bit of good news in this. The good news is they're going to add a third through lane, both north and southbound, on that bridge. I did call Kirk Watson's office last week after I heard you mention.
Can't believe what he says, though.
Well, I got this from Sandy, so we'll see. Hopefully they live up to it. And as I understand, they're already working and restriping those.
Well, it should be a free road. We've already paid for it.
It should be completely free road, 3 lane.
I mean, Kirk Watson is as crooked as a barrel of snakes.
I tell you, I've got problems with Kirk Watson myself.